Welcome to Hockey Whiz Talks podcast. In this podcast, I'll be talking about bounceback players in the NHL this season. In this podcast, I'll be talking about bounceback players in the NHL for the 25-26 NHL season. Perhaps it was his constant battle with health or a shorter off-season leading to less recovery time, but there was almost no explanation for Elias Pettersson's disastrous 2024-25 campaign. His offensive metrics collapsed in nearly every possession category, even while his defensive metrics remained solid. A coaching change could help, but much of this is still on the player. Elias Pettersson is still an elite caliber player and will have no more locker room distractions, so he has no more excuses to not deliver, especially with the contract he has. A chaotic nightmare of a season for Mikko Zibanejad included a painful start to the season, which saw him put up only 29 points in his first 50 games of the season, and he was a dreadful minus 15, 5-on-5 in that span. This led to a forgettable 24-25 campaign for him. Zibanejad scored 33 points in his final 32 games last season, playing alongside JT Miller, where he played his best hockey of the season. The big question is, will new head coach Mike Sullivan stick Zibanejad back on Miller's wing, or will Zibanejad center the third line to give the team better depth? Andrei Kuzmenko will probably never match his absurd 39-goal rookie year in 22-23 with Vancouver, but there were signs of hope with the production he had with LA after being acquired at the deadline. Kuzmenko was plus 9, 5-on-5, and finished the regular season with 17 points in 22 games, and was a point-per-game player in LA's short-lived playoff appearance. The Kings lost defensive acumen in free agency, but a focused Kuzmenko could make up some of the difference in the offensive zone. Andrew Mangiapane scored 35 goals for Calgary during the 21-22 season, but he hasn't tallied more than 17 goals since that season. Edmonton is always looking for value on the wing to play alongside either Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. This might be an issue of comfort for Mangiapane, who played his best hockey with Edmonton's provincial rival Calgary. Now back in Western Canada, after spending a year in Washington, Mangiapane could find his scoring touch playing alongside elite centermen. Matias Maccelli took a step back last year and found himself being the odd man out in Utah. He was traded to Toronto this offseason and is expected to play a top 6 role. With Mitch Marner leaving, Maccelli will have to play a major role in filling the void left by Marner. Although he might not get 100 plus points, a 60-point season is not out of the question. And now a word from our sponsor. Check out my scouting blog at hockeywiz777scouting.com. Listen to my scouting blog podcast on podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/hockeywiz777scouting. Keandre Miller took a step back in defensive reliability last season for the Rangers, but he will see a change in scenery after being traded to the Carolina Hurricanes. Miller will be paired alongside Jacob Slavin on the first pair of Carolina, which has the potential to be an elite top pair. His skating and transition play remain elite. He's a prime candidate for a 40-plus point season. Noah Dobson's production dipped significantly from 70 points to just 39 points, and his power play production was cut in half. Dobson was traded to the Montreal Canadiens in a blockbuster trade and signed an 8-year deal worth $9.5 million AAV. This move makes Dobson a core part of Montreal's blue line, and they consider him one of their building pieces. Expect Dobson to revive Montreal's power play and form a dynamic duo alongside Lane Hutson. Sean Durzi only played 30 games last season due to injury, but now is finally healthy, and Utah is entering its second season with more cohesion and identity. Durzi remains in a top 4 role and serves as a veteran anchor on the blue line. He is helping to shape Utah's hockey culture from the ground up, blending physical play, puck movement, and civic charisma. Hampus Lindholm suffered a fractured patella early in 2024 and missed 65 games last season. The Bruins were already struggling, but then spiraled to a 33-39-10 record and missed the playoffs for the first time in nearly a decade. Lindholm is entering camp fully healthy and having spent the full offseason rebuilding strength and mobility. Under new head coach Marco Sturm, Lindholm is expected to log heavy minutes, anchor the PK and second power play unit, and stabilize the young Bruins decor. Jordan Binnington posted a rough .891 save percentage early last season, but rebounded to a .905 save percentage after Jim Montgomery took over as head coach. He had a strong showing in the Four Nations face-off, which suggests he is motivated to earn Team Canada's Olympic starting role. Binnington will be eager to establish himself as the starter for Team Canada, and the fact that he's playing behind a well-structured Blues team means that he could be on course for one of his best seasons in years. After stepping away from hockey for personal reasons, Spencer Knight is now in a fresh environment with a young core. If he is able to earn the starter's net for Chicago, his athleticism and pedigree could shine again. Knight will be the 1A for the Chicago Blackhawks and looks to be the future of the team in net. He has all the motivation in the world to show that he was worth being a first-round pick. John Gibson was the key acquisition of the offseason for the Detroit Red Wings, whom acquired him from Anaheim. Gibson now has a more structured defensive system in front of him. If healthy, he could return to his 30-win form. Gibson has all the motivation in the world to prove that he's still a starter caliber goalie on a contending team. Check out my hockey blog at hockeywiztalkshockey.blogspot.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at hockeywiz777. These players will be under a microscope heavily, and depending on if they bounce back or not, it could depend on whether they become a liability to the team or the reason the team is winning. In my next podcast, I'll be talking about breakout players in the NHL this season.